Okay, before we get to foreign policy with all this Israel-Iran stuff and a little prediction I'm going to make and all that, we have to do something we hate to do, but something we believe in on this show. We honor yet another fallen service member, especially those who died during training. They are the forgotten heroes. They died serving their country, no different than somebody charging a machine gun nest in war. And a Chief Warrant Officer Dustin K. Wright, a pilot, an Army pilot. He was with the 101st Combat Aviation Brigade. He died during a training mission. He died for his country, gave up his life for his country. It is dangerous to serve in the military. It's dangerous to fly a helicopter. Helicopters have problems. Helicopters fall out of the sky and kill people who are in them. He signed up to serve his country, and he gave his life for our country, and he deserves our unending respect. All right? All right. Now, let's talk about Israel and Iran and America and all the stuff that's happening right now. Before we get into Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard and my prediction and where we're going, the main reason I want to talk to you tonight is not to give you the latest update on the bombings and Tel Aviv and America. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. The reason I wanted to talk to you about this is, first, foreign policy is not simple. And you should beware of anybody, and yourself included, because I'm tempted to do it too, we're all human, beware of anybody simplifying something that is complicated. People love to do this with foreign policy, with historical foreign policy, with current foreign policy, with future foreign policy. This is good, this is bad. They good, they bad. He good, he bad. You see it all the time. The people will take incredibly complicated affairs with different players on every side, different motivations, and Civil War is actually a perfect example. Americans are taught about the Civil War, North good, South bad. That is the extent of American knowledge about an ongoing, horrible civil war of carnage with 600,000 dead, angels and demons on every side, different motivations, moving parts everywhere, all simplified down to North good, South bad. That's how people handle things. That's how people handle wars, conflicts, really most things. But foreign policy is not simple. It is never simple. It's never clear. What is right? What is wrong? So if you are sitting here watching me right now and you have a strong opinion about Israel, Iran, that is fine. That is fine. I get that. One way or the other. Don't care. Have a strong opinion. That's fine. But remember, it's not simple, okay? If you're sitting here right now and you don't know what to believe, I kind of like this. I don't like Iran. I don't want them to have a nuke, but I am kind of nervous about it. That's totally fine. If you're sitting there, I'll tell you right now, because I don't want to be mealy-mouthed about the whole thing, that's really where I'm at. I'm in a watch and wait mode. I'm very apprehensive after 20 years of failed GWAT failure. I also don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I'm very apprehensive of where all this might go. I'm watching, I'm waiting. Wherever you are is fine, but what you shouldn't do is simplify it. It's not simple. It's complicated. Different motivations. Look, think about America alone. We won't even get into all the other countries. Just America alone. Do we have competing interests in this country? Competing ideas? Foreign, domestic ideas? We do have a little bit of that, wouldn't you say? That's just our country. Now fit all those competing ideas, competing interests with Israel, competing ideas, competing interests, different motivations. Oh, but let's loop in Iran, competing interests, competing ideas. Is China involved? China buys 20% of their oil from Iran. Are they involved? What about Russia? It's complicated. There are a lot of players. But let's discuss where we are, because Donald Trump has gone to social media, and that's where foreign policy is done now, right in front of our eyes, which is kind of cool. He's said Tehran needs to be evacuated. He came out and called for unconditional surrender today. Also gave a not so subtle reference to the fact that he knows where the big cheese is. He knows where the Ayatollah is, and we can kill him anytime we want. Not saying we will, but we might. And that brings us to this. Trump he's not what people pretend he is on both sides. And here's what I mean. There are people on both sides who believe that Donald Trump is this ultimate strong man that will bring back America's strength, smash all of her enemies. There are people who believe that. There are people also on both sides who believe that Donald Trump is a complete dove when it comes to foreign policy, totally hands off, just wants to take care of America and get some of those steel factories back up to work again. He's not really either of those things. He's a mixture, I would say, of both of those things. But again, we like to make things simple. He's a dove. He's a hawk. Here's what he said about this before.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end. A real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely. That's okay too.
Are you close there? Is that possible in the next 24
Why not? Certainly possible. Complete give up. That's possible.
All right. So here's how he clearly stands now. When you call for unconditional surrender, I know the audio was a little rough there because he was on a plane, but when he's talking about not a ceasefire, an end, a complete give up, in his own words, that's what he said. When you take that stance, whatever you believe about it, right or wrong, when you take that stance, then you have guaranteed it's about to get hot. Because if you're the Ayatollah, you don't have any choices, right? You give up all your power, you give up your country, undoubtedly you face a war crimes trial, or you fight. So if that's the stance you've taken, that means you're going to war. That brings me to, you know how we were talking about there are different factions in America, different competing factions, even on our side. That brings me to Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is the DNI, Director of National Intelligence. There was a meeting at Camp David. They convened all the heads of the family, if you will. That's a Godfather reference. Tulsi Gabbard wasn't invited. DNI wasn't invited. And then Trump said, well, this was yesterday, Trump said this publicly about Tulsi, because Tulsi just 3 months ago had testified in front of Congress that Iran's not making a nuclear weapon. Here's what Trump said about that.
Mr. President, you've always said that you don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon, but how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having.
I don't care what she said. All right, so I don't care whose side you're on, the whole Trump versus Tulsi thing, but I want you to watch one more little video. This was last week, 2 weeks ago. Tulsi Gabbard went online and she put out, it was long. This is a briefer version of it. It was 3 minutes long, the original version, but she put out this video really opposing war, nuclear war. Here she was.
I recently visited Hiroshima in Japan and stood at the epicenter of a city that remains scarred by the unimaginable horror caused by a single nuclear bomb dropped in 1945, 80 years ago. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. Perhaps it's because they are confident that they will have access to nuclear shelters for themselves and for their families that regular people won't have access to. So it's up to us, the people, to speak up and demand an end to this madness. We must reject this path to nuclear war and work toward a world where no one has to live in fear of a nuclear holocaust.
Does that sound like somebody Who's going to be thrilled that we have carrier groups sailing towards Iran and the president publicly announcing that we're about to kill the Ayatollah? So here's the little prediction. Tulsi Gabbard will not be DNI for very much longer. When the president comes out and says, I don't care what you say, when you don't get the invite to the head party at Camp David, when you are obviously going to be upset about this current direction, maybe she quits, maybe she gets fired, maybe she resigns, to go pursue a family. They love to do that whole thing. I don't know exactly what the details will be. We're going to have a new DNI very soon. Either way, the point of all this is watch. Don't simplify anything. Watch. Take in information. There will be lies spreading all over from every side, as there are in every war. We have to be discerning people to sift through the madness. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.